I could go somewhere, maybe anywhere. 내 지갑은 늘 맞으니까 just feel it. 손끝은 어디, that's my living ring. 내 걱정은 나답게 더 빛나죠. Feel the breeze, 나만 들리는 소리. I can't do myself that. I do me, I do me right. 그냥 I do me, I do my way. 다른 그림들은 upside down. 결국 내가 가는 길이야. 남는 cheese, why you care? I'm just 달릴 거야 멋대로. Still thinking 높은 날개를 달고. 이걸 해야 돼, 거길 가야 돼. 상관없죠, 난 내가 될 거예요. 동무당벌레, that's my piercing. I'm screaming, yeah, 난 나답게 더 잘해요. Feel that breeze, 나만 들리는 소리. I can't tell myself that I do me right. 그냥 I do me, I do my way. 다른 그림들은 upside down. 결국 내가 가는 길이야. 나는 cheese, why you care? I'm just 달릴 거야 멋대로. Still thinking 높은 날개를 달고. I'm running the air. 잘못되는 밤낮 달빛 보며 maybe I'm good on eye. Maybe 내 꿈을 힘들다도 keep it in your soul. 내 상상보다 더 큰 나였어. 겁없는 my face, no need to chase. I call center whispering. I do me, I do it my way. I do me, I do me right. 그냥 I do me, I do my way. 다른 그림들은 upside down. 결국 내가 가는 길이야. 나는 cheese, why you care? I'm just 달릴 거야 멋대로. 핑계 높은 날개를 들고. I run in the air.
Hello, I am awake really. I was just trying to sort the mouse pointer out and then ranting about accessibility software and why, or features, and why they shouldn't only be filed under accessibility. And I should thus be able to find my enormous mouse pointer under the mouse settings of my control panel and not only the accessibility settings. Yes, anyway, welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where things are kind of settling down. Like, we had an entire session last week on Friday when none of the dwarves died, which might be a first. Well, not exactly a first, but actually it might be a first. Certainly it's been a while since we've managed to end the session with the same number of dwarves we started with. And we're kind of in the slow process of fortifying things a bit better and releasing the goblin prisoners, in the hope that they will mostly leave the map. They mostly leave the map, and some of them decide to stay on the map and walk into traps. Though a significant change I did actually make last session is to build a couple of staircases here that run straight down into the main staircase of the fortress. Because while in any sensible world you might want some kind of fortification between the main entrance to the fortress and all of the juicy bits inside, in practice, most of what having this long corridor here does is to slow everything down. So I think my current plan is make things faster, even if one of the things that it makes faster is the like defeat of the fortress when siegers actually get in, but none of them have ever got close to our actual entrance anyway. So, like, so yes, let me just sort out my IRC stuff, and then we will carry on. I think I've left it unpaused while this is going on, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Right. Oh no, I paused. Right. So, yeah, the Forgotten Beasts are busy fighting one another in the caverns. What are you doing? Oh, right, you're cleaning the blood out of the weapon traps. Well, I suppose if you must. What's that? Right, yes, I think our general aim is actually to get rid of the giant hamsters because they have proven to be of very little actual use. I mean, the ravens are at least decorative. Oh, right, we now have a bunch of pen pasture stray thing tasks to move creatures into the goblin welcoming area. Excellent. Move pointy creatures into the goblin welcoming area, which are obviously the best kind. Right. So I would at least like to put a hatch cover on the top of each of those. Have we got any hatch covers? Don't think we've got any more artifact hatch covers, sadly. No. Got any like that are actually reasonable quality? We'll have that one. And what's our second best hatch cover? We've got a star. Is it as good as it gets? I think it is. Okay, right. That will at least mean that we can, in theory, lock up until a building destroyer turns up, which, like, will be a start. I'm impressed by your continued ability to make bracelets for everyone. Like, I'm pretty sure that most of our dwarves are now equipped with far more than a reasonable number of bracelets.
Especially since given the ones who are equipped with fewer than the normal number of wrists to put them on.
Yes. And I'll have a look. Oh no, you don't have one. Okay, maybe we don't all have unnecessary numbers of bracelets. I mean, possibly we should be trying to make everyone better armour, like trying to get everyone in fully masterwork steel or something, rather than making masterwork bracelets all the time. I mean, it's not the same, wouldn't be the same person, or at least probably not the same person. I assume that that the best armour smith we've got is not the best bone carver we've got. Probably if we wanted to do, have we got a really good armour smith, or do we need to, should we train one? All right, we have a professional armour smith who is indeed the only person currently in the metalworkers work detail. We could try to get them up to legendary by, probably, I would think, by having them reverse. So we have one dwarf here who is melting down all of the incoming copper armour into copper bars. We could then construct a lava-powered, or well, it's kind of lava-powered once it's out here. It does appear as lava. A lava-powered forge next to it, which converts the copper bars back into armour again.
But better armour.
Well, not much better, because it's still made of copper, but the point is it gives some practice to the armour smith. And then once they're good enough, we let them loose on steel. Though, to be fair, I suspect we can make enough steel anyway that we wouldn't worry about this. And we could just have our already pretty decent armour smith make steel armour until some of it comes out masterwork. Actually, let's see what we've got since we do have a good armour smith anyway. Right, we've got 29 steel bars. That's not an awful lot. It would be nice if people could learn how to dump things. I mean, to be fair, we have at least got some interesting new tasks turning up. Though too many people are just moving things around. What's our coal situation like? Oh, right, that's no problem at all. So, yeah, if we wanted to... Let's see what our steel armour situation is. Like, we have... So we have a total of 25 steel helms, and some of them are in terrible condition. And like, since we have 29 dwarves, we should probably aim for having 25 actually good steel helms. I mean, maybe more like 30. What is that one decorated? How's that one decorated? It's encrusted with square-cut lavender jades. Well, that's nice. But yeah, I think we need to. I think we should. Well, let's make more, and then we can melt things down to the point where we have one per dwarf or thereabouts, possibly one spare. So let's ask to make 10 steel helm. And we will gradually improve the armoury of our dwarves. Armoury? I was going to say armament, but that's definitely wrong. I'm not sure whether we can say that the supply of armour to dwarves is armoury or if it's something else. Apparently I have no one watching on YouTube. That's a bit dull. Yes, I do have someone on the other side of the living room who's paying attention though, so that's all right. So, I'm going to say in IRC, right, where were we? Might miss the opportunity for Claire to impugn my musical taste again. Right. So, yes, I think that's now going to make us some stuff. I think we continue to be patient and continue to try to let the goblins out. We do have a manager, don't we? Yes. That's fine, we don't really worry about that. Continued supply of bone bracelets I mean, possibly you could be doing something more useful with your time, but... So, yes, I think... Oh, yes, I was going to wonder how the linking items to the Goblin release lever was going. 3 more to go, and then we can let out another batch. And right, someone is... our armour smith is actually off smithing armour, so that's nice. Probably... Do we have a bunch of jobs that will automatically make steel? I think we do. Right, yes, we have a make steel bars job, which is conditional on... Oh, okay, it's conditional on having a supply of pig iron and flux boulders. Do we not have, like, the tasks to feed those as well? Sorry, the jobs. When things get to this stage, I need a search option in this list. Make pig iron, which we do. Right, so we're short of limestone.
How do you make a pig iron? No.
In case you didn't hear that, not that there's anyone listening, Simon just asked, how do you make a pig iron? Right, so this is one of our major chalk mines. See, I want to see where we can get to vertically from the chalk stockpile. Well, the flux capacitor, as I somehow ended up calling it. So that's near that stairway, which only goes down to there. I mean, it goes down to here, but that's completely full of water. Is there another staircase nearby that's like more useful? How about that one? Right, so that's the useful staircase. So really, ideally, we want somewhere near there, which is why we have this enormous area of limestone dug out here, right? Yes. So these 3 floors are our main limestone mine. Yeah, I think if you get it... Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about Tearsal peregrines. Hello, Claire. Right. So I'm currently trying to release goblins and make some more steel helms in order to improve our armour situation, because I think if we're only going to have 29 dwarves, they should be very well equipped. So this requires having enough steel to make a lot of armour, which means we need to mine some more limestone. Seb says, encase them in blocks of iron. Yes, but we do also want them to be able to move.
That's for you making iron big, not pig iron.
So conveniently, we're finally the dwarves have at least decided that they need to, even though they're not doing it, move bears and leopards and such into the goblin welcoming area. So that will probably, once they actually get round to it, help with consuming any stray goblins. I presume there is no shortage of things that want melting there. And once we have enough, actually, let's look at the other things we might make. We might want steel mail shirts, mightn't we? We've got 51 of those. We don't need 51 steel mail shirts. So I think we should schedule several of those for melting to get the steel back. We can melt like 20 of them. Let's go for melting them in order of, I think these must be sorted by value. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, let's stop there because that's neatly all of the ones below exceptional, apart from this oddity up here, which is decorated with, encrusted with well-crafted rectangular clear garnet cabochons and rectangular almondine cabochons and coated with water. But it's not actually a very good steel mail shirt, it's just a reasonably well decorated steel mail shirt, and thus quite valuable. Maybe we should sell that one.
If I remember rightly, in this game, steel objects being coated with water is not a rust risk.
Indeed, rust only happens to skills and not to steel. Curiously, the only rust in this game is metaphorical. So something just happened. Oh yes, that. Those two linkages got suspended. We'll desuspend those. Resume those. I did note that I'm not sure we really need to be making quite so many oh nice masterwork, quite so many bone bracelets, but yes, indeed, Bomrak Aaron Zephon has made created a masterpiece steel helm. Excellent. Now this is going to cause an immense amount of faff as everyone shuffles their armour around.
I get the new best hat, so you can have the second best.
Yes, I think they do tend to do that. Because, like, I think the armour is assigned in order of where you are in the list, in the squad listings. I'm not sure, but I mean, we are probably mostly going to be melting down Goblinite anyway, but all right, yes, in fact, this smelter I think can only melt down Goblinite. Because it can only melt down things that are in the to be melted stockpile, and that's nice. Well, we'll mine out those. It's always nice to have gems. I think we can reasonably trust that those aren't going to suddenly penetrate the caverns. Right, and then, so yes, while I have marked the low quality steel for, I suppose we could actually, let's make a small stockpile up here. No, that didn't work. Try that again, Ben. You seem to have got confused about how the controls work. So that felt like kind of the wrong place, and I don't know where feels like the right place. So if we then have that contain for now steel headwear of core quality, anything up to superior, and total quality anything up to superior. And have that give to the magma smelter and have it take from the stockpile down here, that one, that armour stockpile. Then I think that should mean that the helms that I want melted will be moved up to this stockpile and will then get melted. Hooray. Well, if it works. Slightly less hooray if it doesn't work. Right, we're still linking things up to the goblin release lever and forging steel helms, and at some point moving animals to the goblin welcoming area, which I would like to happen soon. Okay, you're actually doing something. Oh, right, yes, you were standing still because the game was paused. That would explain that. Excuse me, I'm going to scratch my back slightly, which might be audible. Right, there we go. Oh no, you're not linking something to that, you're just cleaning it. Well, I suppose we do want all our levers to be nice and clean, yes. Like, I am slightly perturbed by the amount of the time that our dwarves spend cleaning, but there is a lot of blood around, so I can't really complain. I think poor Raven.
Very nicely, I think. They want to be sure of arriving in a fortress where they can be assured of a good haircut and where the levers were clean.
Yes. I can't help feeling that a raven hatchling versus a giant eagle. Mostly I want to catch this giant eagle in a cage trap, train it for war, and then release it on the goblins. But I fear that the raven is instead going to take the brunt of this. Or the ravens. Yes, we do indeed hope that the goblins' visits will be eventful and brief.
Nasty, dwarvish and short.
Oh dear, Mr. Aban Shukar, ghostly axe dwarf, can be heard howling throughout the fortress. We should correct that.
Howling's all right. It's opening pesky sea doors.
Yes. I am now slightly wondering if the introduction of sieges that can knock down walls and such like is going to lead to entertaining instances of flooding with water, magma, and various other substances. I don't know if there's actually any other substance you can do that with. I suppose flooding the place with horrible syndrome-causing poisons, as they punch through walls they really shouldn't.
Yes, that was a morality core installed to make me stop flooding the fortress with a deadly neurotoxin.
I mean, yes, Dwarf Fortress does have deadly neurotoxins. Yes, unsurprisingly, the stray raven did not. Now then we have the giant eagle attacking the attacking a yak, but
Question from the floor.
all right. Seb says, is this punching through walls by dwarves or antagonists? I was meaning by antagonists. So, because in probably the next release of Dwarf Fortress, it's likely that that siegers will actually be able to knock down walls and such, which will be entertaining. We do have the slight problem that I don't think we actually have a supply of useful rock here. I think we need to get some non-economic stone. My usual source is this room down here. I'm now going, is there somewhere nearby that I could get some non-economic stone? That staircase there. If we can find some non-damp siltstone. Oh, wrong button. Right. Oh, more leopard cubs. Excellent. We like leopard cubs. I mean, we don't like them as much as we like grizzly bear cubs, because I think the grizzly bears are going to be the more effective war creature. But still, we do have a decent supply of leopard cubs now. That one is apparently named. You named because you've actually managed to kill something. Yeah, you get a name for killing 3 peregrines. One of which was apparently notable. So yes, I'm a little concerned that the slab making task here will fail immediately because there is no stone in the supply, in that stockpile that's meant to supply it. But we're digging out some bits of wall here in the hope that some of them will turn out to have stones in them. Surprisingly much effort, that. Like, an awful lot of these walls don't turn out to have stones in. Which is not what you would expect from a wall made of stone, really. Oh, there's one. Right, good. That will be fine. Oh, good, we've got another masterwork helm. So, yes, that should mean we can deal with this ghost. Oh, we're even cutting gems. I didn't know we could still do that. Right, and we're trying to make a slab, but I fear that will get cancelled. Because unless someone actually, or no, either that or one hand thingamy is hauling up a lump of stone from 5 miles away and will be there for a week. Oh dear, what a pity. Never mind. I mean, it's probably good for my dwarves to get some combat practice, and agitated eagles are as good a supply of combat practice as any. No, actually I want this to see if the no, the goblin, oh, those have all got suspended now. Unsuspend. Try to actually finish linking that lever. See the mechanisms scattered around. It looks like these animals are actually going back to their pasture of their own accord, which is nice. Yes. I mean, we are slowly running out of pasture animals, which is good because they're not really much use. I mean, they might be of use if we... Okay, maybe they're not. Enormous run of pasture animals to activity zone 6 tasks, but like lots of them seem to have come back spontaneously. So maybe the task will vanish, or maybe the dwarves will go up to the animals, conclude that they're in the right place already, and then leave them alone. Maybe. Right, we're now going back to linking those levers again. That's good. Why are people not dumping items again? We got that, we had that problem for a long time, and then it briefly got fixed, and then now it's back. So where are you and what are you doing? You are trying to make that rock slab. All right, you are hauling a lump of limestone. You're hauling a lump of limestone at a pretty decent speed, actually. You are quite strong, so yes. Even if you only have one hand. Right, that's fine then. I'm not going to complain about that. Someone will probably move some siltstone up to the correct place eventually. Do we have tasks for... Don't seem to have a task for moving anything up to the low quality steel stockpile, which is slightly weird. Oh well. I'm sure it will all happen in due course. I should probably dig out another layer of limestone. All right, there's a dead giant eagle on one of the main entrances to the fortress now. That's slightly silly. Yes, yes. Right, 2 more goblins to be linked up, and then we'll try releasing them and seeing how badly wrong that goes. I might raise... I'm slightly dubious about raising this bridge while there are so many people crossing it. And actually, both of those dwarves turned out not to be going to cross the bridge. Where are you going anyway? Nowhere. Look, there must be something you can do. You're wandering up... Oh no, they were not climbing trees. I'll forgive that. You were using the footbridge over the railway. You're willing to do any task. There must surely be something we want. All right, yes, you're going to put a raven in its place. It does slightly look like all the ravens are in the wrong place, possibly because they got scared off by a giant eagle. You're out chasing ravens around the fortress, aren't you? There's a raven. Charge. Right, you've got the raven, I think. Yes. Now to haul it to where it's meant to be. I am slightly worried that maybe our ravens keep fleeing their tower because of attacks from local wildlife, and that the dwarves are doomed to be forever trying to get the ravens back into place. Ah, 4 animals have grown to be stray adult ravens. Not this one, though. Right, raven duly deposited in the tower. Find another raven. This is a good sign, though. It means we might soon get onto pasturing... Right, got a raven. Drag this raven back to the tower. We might soon get onto pasturing useful animals. Ones that aren't ravens. I could not watch the dwarf going hunting ravens, but it's kind of fun. I see one hand is in here making a slab, while Kogan Kibor is dragging ravens around the map. Here they are with their raven. An animal has grown to be a giant wild boar. I'm not paying much attention to the giant wild boars because they are neither decorative nor vicious. So if we choose this, can we see how many are actually there? Not easily, no. Here is our dwarf pulling that raven. We'll see what they end up doing next. Oh dear, no Hansedrastrus is throwing a tantrum. Not quite sure how they're throwing it. Well, I mean, they haven't got any hands to throw at you, so... One of our ganders has gone missing. You have just decided that your role in life is to get all the ravens to the right place, haven't you, Mr. Kibor? That was a kind of intercept path, wasn't it? Anyway, how are the tasks doing? Unsuspend that one again. There are a lot of ravens, but 2 people are currently working on moving ravens, which is probably good. So there is apparently still an agitated giant eagle out there. Land on one of our remaining cage traps, it'll be helpful. I mean, I suppose what we should do is put cage traps in the places where we don't expect to find goblins. Right. That's that. Right. That's enough ravens. Off for some drink. We will stop following that dwarf now. Oh, we found the gander. It got drowned. How do you drown? Aren't you a like swimming capable thing? Did you confuse yourself with a goblin? Like that G is a goblin. That G is a gander. All right, no, there's blood there as well. I think you got injured and hurled into the water. Oh, only 1 maximally depressed dwarf. 4 second to maximally depressed dwarfs, though. So, like, it's not a great position. It's only Sodel Atirog that's still maximally depressed. I mean, you don't really have much to be depressed about. Do we need to improve your bedroom? I mean, the dining room is legendary. Now, you think your bedroom's like a personal palace as well. Yeah, I don't quite know why you're so unhappy. I mean, possibly you're just generally prone to it. Appears to be a jammed weapon trap there, possibly because a peregrine has just, yes, got stuck in it. Oh, I wonder if we could build roofs over the weapon traps to stop birds getting into them. Wonder if that would work. The giant bat is going to be in the caverns, so we don't really care. There appears to be a raven there. How are we doing at tasks? That's got suspended again. Oh, Kogan Kibor is back on the raven moving duties. There aren't that many more ravens to move. How are we doing with that? You're currently carving, are you? Yes, right, good. So we will have a memorial soon. I mean, I didn't think there were many dwarves that we should have failed to bury recently, but life is full of surprises. Right, you're linking the last goblin to the lever. Someone having dropped that mechanisms in the on the way, on the last attempt, I presume. Yes, I'm not actually too worried about having one of my ravens having died, because we have more ravens than we really need anyway. Right, so, oh right, you need to link up the other end of that, do you? You do the target first, right. So this dwarf will now walk quite a long way back across the map to find the another mechanisms. This big pile of mechanisms is here. Sorry, the plural of mechanisms is mechanisms, according to Dwarf Fortress. There's a big pile of mechanisms here.
The numbers and colours that they made.
So, yes, that's going to take a little while because it's a big, heavy copper mechanism. There's one reason why stone mechanisms is a kind of better, because they are lighter than copper ones, or than metal ones in general. How's that task to make helms going? It doesn't seem to be on the list anymore, so that suggests that we've probably made them, and we should look at the situation again. Right, so we now have 35 steel helms, which is more than any reasonable person could want. So we can at least melt down the...
29 reasonable people could want.
Yes, thank you. More than 29 reasonable people could want. So we could melt down, mark 5 of them for melting. Oh, I was unstoked and marked that as taking headgear when we didn't want it to take headgear. We wanted that to take bodies at low quality. Where by low I mean up to superior. Yes. I mean, our helms are, we have helms going much lower than superior. So possibly, yeah, let's not try to melt helms yet. Or rather, let's not try to haul them up here. We'll try to melt the bodywear, which is actually plausible. Maybe that's part of why we didn't get any tasks to move things to it. Not that seems to be making much difference. I mean, I'm kind of a little confused by how few store item in stockpile tasks there are around anyway. Hooray! Or is one hand ML Dodok the one who has like 20 cats already? Yes. Precisely 20 cats already, now has 21 cats. Right. So what's going on with the tasks anyway? Right, the Tower of Keskalokil is almost full, as in not full, but almost has all of its required ravens in place. Right, and that no longer has any linking tasks remaining, so we can release the next batch of goblins when we think it's safe to do so. There probably aren't many dwarves wandering around in that area at the moment. So how about we raise... Do we bother raising that bridge? Let's have a squad on standby just in case. It says apparently bringing one dwarf into a military boss name. And we'll pull that lever and release the goblins and see what happens. We will pull the lever eventually. There we go. Goblins released. One of them is firing arrows off the map. I think they're from different... Oh, I think we've had captured goblins from different civilizations. With the consequence that as soon as they're released, they start fighting one another. You're not meant to be fighting one another.
Do they have to be from different civilizations? One of them just said, I just want to fight somebody. Maybe they're merely in a terrible mood.
Yes, okay. This place could really... I don't think we often get people with that personality trait, because I don't recognise most of these messages. I just want to fight somebody. I need some excitement in my life. This place could really use some more trouble. Well, when you guys have finished this... I think that's one goblin has killed another one. You're a very strange goblin.
Away from people for a long time. Charge!
But apparently none of this is a problem. Like, there's lots I'd like to do, but I will be fine. I was confined. This makes me angry. I was released from confinement. I'm free. Okay, I hadn't considered the possibility that we might deal with our goblin surplus by letting them fight one another, but I think they are trying to leave the map, the survivors. The survivors are now leaving the map, so right, there we go. Did we have a bunch of messages there saying somebody is fighting? Right, we now should have a suitable memorial slab. Oh dear, our memorial... Oh no, there's still some spaces in the memorial hall down there. Right. So that's another batch of... Let's just check they have actually left the map. Goblins out of the way. So we can link another bunch of their cages to this lever. Three, 4 in that column, 2 in the column to the right. Go up this column, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're running out of mechanisms. I mean, we could demolish this lever, which has been accumulating mechanisms each time we link something to it. And they're almost all doing nothing now because the other end of the connection's missing. Yes, but I get one of them back in that it's deconstructed with the cage. The other one gets stuck in the lever, and we can get it back by deconstructing the lever. So yes, I need 2, but one of them we get back in time to use it for the next batch. Conveniently, of course, this means that half of the mechanisms is already in about the right place, but people may well now shift them all up into this stockpile to annoy me anyway. So hopefully that someone will now move my... oh, we should release the salty inks because they were not needed. Right. Mr. Abanshukar has been put to rest. In memory of Mr. Abanshukar, born 48, drowned in the year 118, slayer of the giant albatross sunk larks. And the memorial has just dried. Which I suppose is appropriate because it was... Oh no, you did drown. I was about to say not someone who drowned.
Faster than I did. I was still stuck on why would it be sun clocks?
Yes. I think these ghosts are people who died quite a long time ago, who suddenly get fed up and come back to haunt us. So how's this configured? That's just basically all kinds of things in all kinds of metals, but configured to only take from the goblins' corpses. Right, okay. That's a kind of weird position to take, but it'll do. or specifically to take only from the goblin corpse piles over here. Well, let's keep doing that until this stockpile runs out, and then we'll reconfigure it if necessary, or at least until it runs out of copper. Because like most of the copper is somewhere over here. Actually, what's this stockpile configured for? That is just a corpse stockpile, isn't it? Yes. So there's no attempts made at putting copper objects into this stockpile. Okay, we are actually making more copper mechanisms anyway, just in case we need them. It's probably a bit silly. Only 2 ravens left to be put in the tower, just in time for them to be scared away by something else. So we have 19 steel bars. Let's look at what other... We seem to be somewhat okay for steel mail shirts. We're not badly off for steel boots either. We have very few steel gauntlets, don't we? And they're all pretty terrible quality as well. I mean, even if this one is encrusted with round pyrrolizite cabochons. Right, let's try ordering. Actually, let's try ordering 20, and like, we haven't got enough steel for that, but that job will then sit. I hope that means 20 pairs. That job will then sit there until it actually gets done, which might require us to try to make more steel. There is a task to store an item in the flux capacitor, but it doesn't actually seem to be happening. Oh, rock hauling is possibly in our hauling we're not doing at the moment, isn't it? I'm going to be gradually turning back on hauling tasks. Where are the hauling tasks? Hauling, yes, stone hauling is currently not being done very much. Let's turn on stone hauling for now. Or at least make stone hauling more popular. Because I think we do actually have some stone we want to get into the right places. What are you doing? Where are you taking that item? Are you storing that in the wrong armour stockpile? I think you probably are, and I think I should make sure you don't. Well, I mean, maybe not that particular item. I think that one may be a lost cause. But don't we have an armour stockpile down here? And should it perhaps not allow copper? Should it perhaps only allow really good metals? Like it's current. Oh, it currently doesn't allow copper. Okay. Where are you taking that item then? Joy, we have more geese. As I attempt to improve our frame rate by getting rid of goblins, the geese do their best to make it make the frame rate worse. One more to go. This is the last raven. The geese do their best to make the frame rate worse by making more geese. Right. Kogan Net Drink has caught the final one of the ravens, allegedly, I say, as I spot two more ravens who are not in the correct place. Caught the final raven that isn't, for which there is a task. Where are you going with those copper bars? Oh, you're going to make copper mechanisms with them. Okay, that's fine. I mean, like, possibly we should arrange that there's a mechanisms workshop in the right place, but it's a lot easier than it used to be because of the new entrance. Oh, the Tower of Keskalokil has spawned an enormous number of new pasturing tasks. How disappointing. Now, I don't know if that's because the ravens are keep leaving it again, or if it's just because we really do have that many ravens. Actually, did we have a way to look at that somewhere here? Right, yes. We should pay attention to these numbers. So that says that the Tower of Keskalokil currently has 9 ravens in it, out of 23. I mean, I wonder if they're getting scared away, or if it's just that the area that they're being held in is too small. I mean, it's quite a small tower. Still, let's remember those numbers and see which direction they move in. I'm not too worried about us getting too many mechanisms, because we can turn them into weapon traps with all of the goblins' weapons. So where are you taking that? This child moving armour around. Oh, is it going into this stockpile? Does that stockpile take low quality? Yes, it does, doesn't it? Right, yes, that's probably a slight problem. Because we sold a bunch of the second-hand clothes. Probably means there's just about enough space to fit some slightly decent quality metal armour in there if we wanted to sell that, but we don't. We mostly want to melt the metal armour. Right. Oh, good. We're making some masterwork gauntlets to make up for our terrible gauntlet situation. We do now at least have some masterwork gauntlets available. Actually, I think maybe I have to press the update equipment button somewhere in order to cause people to reorganise themselves reorganise what they're wearing based on the availability of new equipment. So we might be all right for people not spending all their time finding different things to wear. Tower of 20, Keskalokil, 23 assigned, 10 present. It's kind of a progress. Right. Yes, not much for me to do really at this point. I'm mostly just watching the dwarves making things better. Let's have a look at, we were previously at like 1-2 up here rather than 3-1. So who is there in orange? There's no Hans Sederstruth who is going to be in general quite unhappy for obvious reasons. You can't use a goblet, cup or mug because you have no hands, or at least no working hands.
How does she have a drink? Have they got straws in this universe?
Possibly, or possibly she just sticks her head in the barrel.
That was odd. A couple of places of pointer. She didn't feel anything after seeing a goose's dead body.
Oh yes. I mean that's even in the wrong. Feels like it's. Oh right, yes. So a goose is somehow its name.
Yeah.
It's an untitled goose.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know. Who else was there anyway? So Sederstruth is going to be unhappy. I mean, did she have any thoughts about that poem? No, a story. Sorry. Saxel Edem Nozung. Right, what's going on with you? Yeah, you again have got be with family, and I bet you have no family. You can make yourself some family, maybe. Yes, I mean, you've even got a proper temple. And you're interested in all the things, and you're satisfied and blissful. And yeah, I think... I'm not sure I can really think of a way to make your life much better. Catan delicatan. I don't remember you being a problem, but... So one of your problems is that we don't have your preferred booze. She was amused remembering wearing old clothing. Well, that's a nice thing to have. You have seen an awful lot of death, but you don't feel anything about that. Yeah, I think those ones are probably as good as God's Morganders. I think we have a big problem here that our geese are just reproducing continuously, and they are much better at it than the ravens. No one is eating their eggs, and so we're just getting more and more ganders and geese. And like we have so much food, it's really not worth slaughtering them or eating their eggs. But you can't geld a goose. Oh dear. Sorry, a grizzly bear has got into the beehives. I'm kind of worried. All right, it's left again. It's fine. Right, and the Tower of Keskalokil now only has 7 ravens. So I think there is a problem with getting the ravens to stay in the tower. I don't know whether that's because it's too crowded or simply because they keep getting scared off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume it's because it's too crowded. And so what I will do is I will reduce the number of ravens that are officially assigned to the tower. We'll remove the ones that need regular training. And we'll remove the hatchlings for now, because they're a bit vulnerable anyway. And maybe then we'll see if we can get at least that lot stably into the tower. So now, if I look here, the Tower of Keskalokil has 6 of its 10 ravens present. Which I hope will be an easier number to maintain. I suppose I could demolish all the nest boxes in the eggery as well, in order to, because I've just noticed the state of it. Like, each of these squares appears to have a goose on a nest box which has an egg in, or probably several eggs in. This is just going to lead to a terrible goose explosion. Right, I'm demolishing all of the geese's egg boxes. Because otherwise, the sheer quantity of geese is going to become a serious impediment to sensible frame rates. Okay, I may be getting a bit confused by this, but that's not really a problem. We'll look in a moment and see which ones still have to be demolished. Let's actually make a small stockpile. Here. And its purpose will be to store unused nest boxes. Okay, where do nest boxes appear? Don't think it's in there. I would have guessed furniture, but No. Sure, yeah, it's not a weapon or a trap component. Awkward thing is there doesn't seem to be a search everything button. Well, maybe we won't have a nest box stockpile because I can't find nest boxes in the list. They'll just lie around, probably get shifted to stockpile 1 if there's space in it, though it is quite full. You've managed to dodge this, my dear goose. Why can't I click on anything? This is not helpful. That's working. That's working. Right, that's better. This will at least prevent the next goose explosion. But I think we may already have slight embarrassment of them. It's not so bad. Well, if people like them as pets, then we'll allow more people to have pet geese while we've got them. Like, that will probably make them happier. Sorry, I just noticed the geldable button there went, what? Oh right, that's not a goose, that's a mongoose. Very different. Don't confuse them. Tower of Keskalokil is up to 8 out of 10. Here's number 9 being hauled in right now. Oh, and the Goblin welcoming area finally has one of its animals in position, but I bet it's that giant hamster. Giant hamsters are not the most effective goblin welcomers. They tend to just get killed, which is why we have very few giant hamsters left. Well, that and I gelded all of the male ones. Right. Kogan Kibor is finding the last of the ravens that's now, under the new rules, meant to be in the tower. The rest of the ravens will stay down wherever they're currently hiding. Like, it's now quite quick to get things out of there because you don't have to drag them all the way over to the main entrance. So this is in general making our fortress quite a bit more efficient. We've got 1,000 iron gauntlets in this fortress. That's a bit silly. Yes, of course, we do want twice as many gauntlets as we've got military dwarves, don't we? But like, that's looking a much better selection of gauntlets now. I mean, it's not all masterwork steel, but there's at least quite a lot of vaguely decent steel there. Right, last raven is now being pastured in the tower. Oh.
Sure, that's the verb.
Well, it's the one that they use,
Yeah.
pen/pasture. Right, you're already going back to find another raven. Has that gone wrong then? 10 assigned, 9 present. Right, so we can get closer to 10 than we could to 23, or whatever the number was. But maybe the stable number is even lower than that. See the raven here. Unfortunately, the raven can fly and you can't. Also, it's faster than you are. Happily, it's probably just heading down into the fortress and you can chase it down there. So maybe we need to either make the area that the ravens are allowed into a bit bigger, or deassign a couple more ravens from it. Maybe we should go down to 7 ravens. What's the correct number of ravens anyway? Is that the giant hamster that just managed to get put into there? No, good. Right, now the Tower of Keskalokil has the correct number of ravens in it, at least temporarily. So anyway, steel. So we only have 9 steel bars left. I'm actually wondering if we should start deliberately melting down all that steel ammunition that people have brought. Like, steel bolts are of no use to us. We only have 1 steel bucket. I suspect those doors are in use. Steelhead trout sadly don't give steel when melted. Right, we're going to want some steel chain leggings as well. It's probably a bit silly that we've got steel mechanisms and mine carts and toys. Like, that seems a particular waste of high quality metal. We're a bit short on weapons too. Maybe I should melt down all the steel toys, but that seems kind of rude. Like, they're probably very nice toys to play with because dwarves like steel. Oh well, we'll melt down the steel crossbow bolts at least, because those are of precious little use to us. See, have we got... Was there one or more steel crossbows as well? Weapons... There is. Well, let's melt that as well. It's not of much value. And while warhammers are not very helpful as steel things in that they're better made of silver. We may as well keep them. Yeah, you're doing all right. You just got slightly bruised by a peregrine falcon. You do need some better clothes, but I think you can't dress yourself anymore, so that might be quite an effort. So I'm just wondering if there's anything interesting going on here. You're now trying to put animals back in the eggery, which I think should work. Oh dear, is there still a raven in the wrong place? No, all the ravens are in the right place. Stop worrying about that. The eggery only actually officially has 2 birds, which is slightly weird.
Does that mean 500 geese are all unofficial?
Yes. Yes, I think they merely found the nest boxes and claimed them, and were unofficially laying eggs in them. Indeed, in the same way that a raven just claimed one of the egg boxes, nest boxes. So yes, I think if there is any constructed nest box, then birds, even those not assigned to it, if they can get to it, i.e. if they're not assigned to another pasture, will tend to turn up and lay eggs in it. There's quite a lot of water coming out of the drainage system at the moment. Like the fact that the entire river is 2 levels above its usual depth. It is weirdly soggy down here. Is that just... It might just be because I opened some extra drainage here a while ago. And yes, it then flows around there and then gets picked up by that pump. It looks like there's a lot of water coming down this staircase, which I suppose is kind of unsurprising. There's still a decent amount of ore there of various sorts, so I don't really want to seal that corridor off yet. This one I could plausibly abandon. Like we could wall it off here and here and just let it fill with water. Which might be a plan to slightly reduce the amount of water we're having to process through the river. Might also be good for our frame rate because again things will stop moving then. Let's do a bit of that. So we'll put a wall in here and a wall in here and just let that area flood. And that will reduce the amount of water the drainage system has to pump out because it will stop bothering to pump some of it. And like the corridors will fill, but then they won't. But nothing will happen beyond that. Right, someone is coming along to do it. Good. And we're still releasing more things. We're still producing honey, apparently. The honey production system hasn't managed to break down yet. Or rather, I haven't disabled it. Like, in general, my experience here has been that that our work orders do carry on working. It's just that they consume so much dwarven time that we want them to stop. Now, the Tower of Keskalokil is still losing ravens occasionally.
Not a bad omen.
Yes. I mean, we bring them back, but
Okay, so, I mean,
the main.
they always said it was a bad omen if the Ravens had left the Tower of London, but I think that did have the assumption that they'd be leaving permanently rather than just popping out for a snack.
Yes.
Or going on holiday.
I mean, I'm not even sure what that pasture is, but the big pastures seem to be. Let's actually find them and name them. That one is like actually a pasture. Not quite sure where the other one is. So the main pasture does actually have all 38 animals in it. And whatever that one is has the 11 of the 11 it's meant to have. And I can't even remember that one. So like at least the main place that things want to be moved to is the goblin welcoming area. Not that anyone seems to be working on that now. And we are still, like, while no one's looking, forging more bill and jugs to fill with royal jelly. Right, just confirming that we still have plenty of soap and we don't need to make the soap making system work again. But there is lots of soap there. I haven't noticed anyone having happy thoughts about soap, though. Oh, back to 2-1 at this level, at this end of the happiness spectrum. That's good. Who hauled themselves out of...
Yeah, the happiness spectrum.
Catan Delicatan has pulled themselves up to yellow now. Mostly through feeling pleasure near completely sublime traps, it looks like. I think possibly she has been the one hooking up the goblin cages. Dizzy points out you're very much living off the supplies from the previous industry. Oh yes, we have things like soap and food in such quantities that we will probably, that like the dwarves will be able to survive a couple of centuries on what's left here because there are so few dwarves. It's going to be quite a problem if any immigrants turn up now. I mean, births we can probably cope with because there won't be many of them. It looks like we still have one functional nest box here that I've never got round to demolishing. Well, that's okay. 5 more geese, adult geese. Try to stop any more geese turning up. But we are going to have quite a few of them for a while.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, we've run out of silver bearing boulders. That should fix itself. I think we have, like, down here where I was trying to block off some water escaping, on which subject, we've got some tetrahedrite here which we can should be able to use to make billen. But as it said, in linked stockpile, I think we need to wait for someone to bring the tetrahedrite up here. And some of this task generation seems a bit wonky. Actually, I have this vague feeling that doing things like that helps. Because it encourages the game to notice that something needs to be paid attention to. That doesn't actually seem to have had the effect I was hoping for. Oh well. I mean, there are people now trying to, indeed, fetching. There you can see them fetching the wheelbarrows for. I thought they were. Yes, there for getting some rock up. So maybe that has actually improved matters, and we will get some rock moved into the right place now. Oh, 2 of the goblin work. Right, we are finally beginning to fill up the goblin welcoming area. Right, I think having 7 ravens in the tower is an acceptable number. It doesn't seem they do occasionally get out, but it looks like they don't get out so much that the dwarves are spending all their time trying to get them back in. I think dragging ravens back to the tower may count as a low priority hauling job of some sort. I mean, animal hauling would be the obvious one, if there is one of those, which there isn't. Is it kind of item hauling? Oh no, animal hauling. There, yes. So my guess is that that's why there were only those 2 people doing it, which is part of why it was going so badly. Bloody hell, is someone dumping an item? I don't think so, because that's a dead raven. Oh well. I mean, it's from the surface, which is a bit weird. But yes, people are actually dumping items now. Right. So the thing that I did, let's try to remember this. The thing that I did that seemed to cause a bunch of awkward tasks to unwedge, I mean, admittedly, it's now meaning that a load of stuff is happening that maybe I don't want to happen, was to add and remove people from the low priority haul, the one of the hauling labours, work details, but I can't remember which one. But that's fine, I can fiddle with both of them. And now there seems to be actually, like, someone's actually going to get the tetrahedrite and put it in the right place and this kind of thing, which is going to make things better. Maybe now too many people are going to be hauling some things around, but so I mean, we could make putting ravens back in their place a really high priority task, or at least a task that everyone engages in rather than only 2 dwarves, but I mean, we wouldn't actually be doing that. We'd be intending to do it for the goblin welcoming area. But I hope they won't leave the goblin welcoming area so enthusiastically. Right, we've got 3 more goblins to link up, and then we can release the next batch. Let's check if those have got suspended. No, not yet. Right, so we are short of steel, but the steel production system should now be able to unwedge, because now we've got some limestone available. I mean, it might take a little while for it to properly unwedge, which should mean that we can start making pig iron. Okay, we need a total of 20 flux boulders. Right, I think that means we need to go and mine yet more flux. That's fine. We do need a lot of flux to make steel. the reason why we have this enormous open area around this staircase. Right, something here has become suspended. Let us unsuspend it. Yeah, that's all fine. Stone moving tasks. I mean, maybe we don't want everyone assigned to stone moving, but there is a lot of stone to move at the moment, so I'm not really too stressed about that. Still trying to train things. Oh good, Kohan Kibor's dragging a grizzly bear into the goblin welcoming area. It will be nice if we can actually have that work. Like, because it's clear that a single bear versus a single well-armed goblin is, well, probably goes slightly in favour of the goblin. But I feel if we can like have 5 or 6 bears there, then this will end rather differently. And in general, we shouldn't get multiple goblins turning up at a time, because they have to like either go through the goblin drowning machine or be clambering in through the trees somehow. And like, I like the idea of a goblin dropping out of the trees and being immediately surrounded by 5 grizzly bears. Because I think at that point, the fact that they've got a copper sword on them is not going to help them very much. Or the bear cub is following its mother around. Not sure that's going to go very well once they get into a fight, but we'll tolerate it for now. What are you playing at? Are you going to clean something? No. What are you going to pick up? Ah, right. Are you going to put those somewhere helpful, or are you going to put them somewhere annoying? So I think you're going to put them somewhere slightly annoying. Or maybe not. No, okay, you've decided you've put them in the right place. Good. Those will get melted eventually. Oh good, items are getting dumped. It's so cheering when things get thrown away. Finally. Like these unclogging events, while it's annoying that we end up needing them, are at least quite cheering when they finally happen. Yeah, one of the ravens has sneaked off again. But the goblin welcoming area is now half full, which is nice. It would be nice if we could see which half, but I mean, we kind of can. There's a bear. And a hamster and another hamster. If we get up to more than one bear, that will be a lot better. No one is currently moving the other animals into the goblin welcoming area. Can't help feeling that's going to go badly for the Tearsal Peregrine. Okay, so far the Peregrine is actually winning. Okay. Yes, you should be terrified. You're fighting a grizzly bear. But your dodging does appear to be pretty good. Still, it's probably good combat practice for the bear as well. He's now climbing the tree. Well, that's good. Have you fled from the... Yes, you really can't, you shouldn't be very injured. Yes, you went and got into a fight with a peregrine and you lost. And now you're going to have to be hauled back there by some unfortunate dwarf, because out of our 14 assigned creatures, now 0 are present because they got scared off by a peregrine falcon. Ah, right. Well, the bear did win in the end. Just took a while and scared the bear off, and now someone's going to have to haul the bear back there. So we are now out of steel and hence in need mostly of extra flux stone. But like, we'll take lignite as well, that's useful. And indeed iron ore. Yes, I expect we'll stop fairly soon, but I would at least I'd quite like to release the next batch of goblins. See, here's an agitated giant hamster demonstrating the ability to, like, seriously kill things. Or at least seriously injure things. Why can't they do that when faced with goblins? Instead, when faced with a goblin, a giant hamster runs away and dies. Oh God, an angry, agitated, peach-faced lovebird, yes. But the thing is that most of my dwarves are quite well armed, so... That suggests that we've accidentally captured something. Since that dumping that item doesn't seem to be working, maybe I should just dump the whole cage. We're not very short of cages. Id Adsazir. Are you seriously unhappy, Id Adsazir? Well, fairly unhappy, yes. I feel sure you should be able to find some new items to wear, even if they are... Oh, we're getting close to the likely time of the next goblin invasion, aren't we? Though it isn't the first of the year, and yet an enormous number of our animals have nonetheless been found dead, but possibly that's because they got attacked by something, given they're all on the surface. Right, yes, I think they got attacked by a giant hamster. It is nice to have a fortress that isn't full of corpses. This is a great improvement. You going to pick up some armour? Yeah. Oh, a cage. So yes, it is quite late in the year. I'm getting concerned now that we can't release the next batch of goblins before we are liable to have a goblin siege on our hands. Actually, how about... Oh, there's only one of those tasks left. We could bravely let that one finish. Is it actually underway? Yes. They don't usually arrive right at the start of the month, do they? Good night, Steph. We will stop soon, but... Alright, you've just cancelled that job anyway. Right, I'm going to cancel that final link job. Schedule a lever pulling job to release that batch of goblins now. Forbid everything south of the goblin drowning machine, so as to discourage dwarves from heading over there. And then we'll await the first siege of spring, at least for a little while. If it doesn't arrive in a few days, then we'll probably stop anyway. Right, they're all getting into fights again. They're being chatty goblins. Well, a bit. This means that the next goblin siege that turns up is going to find a quantity of recently killed goblins around where they enter the map, which might be a bit alarming. Slightly alarmed by Dwarven Child, but oops. What am I resizing? Oh, I'm still, yeah, right. That's not a problem. Okay, that'll do. Right, it is now the end of the year, or rather the start of the new year. Year 122. We have 3 orangely unhappy dwarves and 1 redly unhappy dwarf, which is not bad, out of 29. We are slowly reducing our quantity of goblin prisoners of war. Only have about 6 or 7 of them left. I think there's a couple that aren't in the correct location at the moment. So I think all of our, right, yes, and a bunch of animals have died, because they always do at the start of a new season. So I think that batch of goblin invaders has now been freed and has left. Looks like we have 12 remaining caged goblins. I really don't mind you ditching any dead animals you might find. We still apparently have some things that need pasturing. I am slightly tempted to make pasturing animals something everyone does so that we can get it done more efficiently, because it is a thing we care about. I mean, we are slowly putting everything back into preferred hauling. I mean, we're not actually. But yeah, let's put animal hauling in there and see if that works. But what we should do if we're going to do that, wrong button, is then we go back to here. No, it was the other one, wasn't it? It was the hauling that everyone can do, and I added someone to it, and then I removed them again. And that seemed to force a recalculation somehow. Ooh, where is... Oh yes, we had some kind of a place around here for keeping leopard cubs, didn't we? Right, well, that seems to have now meant that everyone is trying to get animals to the right place, which actually is quite nice, because I think, admittedly, there are some animals we don't care about so much, but we would like, in particular, the goblin welcoming to be kept well equipped. They've sent us 1 giant iron axe blade, 5 cow cheeses, a bronze pick, and a crystal glass arm. That's nice. We might work out how to play the arm. Of course, there is also now a lot of storing of things in animal stockpiles, which is not quite right, but... I mean, I think the fact that we're now actually going to get a decent number of animals into the welcoming area is worthwhile. And like, those are generally jobs that don't take very long, that don't like rot very much, rather. So like, once they're done, they're done. You can see a lot of dwarves here moving leopards and bears around. And ravens in the other direction. Where are you going with that bear? I'm slightly confused by that. Wondering how many dump item jobs there are waiting. Don't seem to be many. Good. I mean, I could dump more items, but we'll save that for now. Why are you hauling copper nuggets? I'm pretty sure you can't make billion bars out of copper nuggets. There's like a shortage of silver in there. Or are you going to then find a silver ore to go with it, I suppose? Maybe you are. Right, so now we have leopards here. So we've got 5 creatures in the goblin welcoming area. Oh, and it's a Vile Force of Darkness. Is it a big Vile Force of Darkness? Let's see. Let's, as is traditional, summon the military to some suitable location. There is a lot of stuff going on over this bridge, so I'm reluctant to raise the bridge. Though, of course, a bunch of jobs will now be being cancelled anyway. What are you doing? Well, our invading force appears to consist of like 5 goblin crossbowmen. One of whom is who is uneasy about the sheer number of dead goblins there are around, which is like a reasonable position to take. And has run into some of the has started shooting at some of the unhappy local wildlife. Possibly has just killed the local wildlife. Yes. So here is our leading goblin, I think. They will not get drowned because they're the first one to cross. Oh, they're shooting at my leopards. The nuisances. Oh, poor leopard. Yes, this is. I had hoped that we could, by making like walls and such, make it quite hard for the goblins to shoot the leopards, but apparently it's not hard enough yet. We should build a wall somewhere around here so that they can't shoot down into that area so easily. At some point one of them's going to step forward, but there's a grizzly bear climbing through the trees towards them. The grizzly bear is experiencing mortal fear, but that's not going to stop it. Oh dear, the grizzly bear didn't actually get close enough to the goblins to hurt them. They are doing a pretty effective job, these goblins, of not, like, getting too close. One of them, look, one of them stepped forward now. That's dangerous. Spleesh! Right, so 2 goblins are now drowning. I think one of them may possibly have encountered an unfortunate incident with a weapon trap. So yes, the invaders, we have one drowning there, one drowning there. We've still got 3 more somewhere. Presumably somewhere to the south. That's a terrified and quite badly injured leopard. Aha, there's a surviving goblin. There's another one. What are you going to do? Oh, the siege is officially over, so you're probably trying to leave the map now. Yes, looks like you're about to walk off the edge of the map. So, that was a somewhat successful siege. Like, we lost 1 grizzly bear and 1 leopard, I think, which is not good. Because, yeah, there's a bit of a problem. I think we need to make it harder for goblins to shoot down from that platform into the welcoming area. Because we really want them to be engaged in melee combat down here rather than shoot ranged attacks from up here. So we want to extend the walls along this edge and to somehow make sure they can't shoot down that ramp. Either by putting a wall at the... So we want to make that kind of more complicated. Dizzy, it says, you need a maze like in a tower defence game. Yes, more or less. But I think that's not a task for now. That is a task for next time. So Goblin Welcoming is now down to only 11 assigned because 3 of them have got killed. Those will now be shifting at high priority. The the military dwarves are still trying to organise themselves a bit. So, yes, I don't think I want to change anything else other than... Oh, I should release the troops, yes. There. I don't think I need to reconfigure anything else. That Vile Force of Darkness was not a problem. The winter ones, the spring ones generally aren't, I think. I think it's the summer ones that are a big problem. Anyway, we'll see. Meanwhile, that, I think, is enough for tonight. So now we shall save. Let's unpause and let everyone go back to their normal jobs. So now we shall save and we will come back on Friday, probably. So until then, good night.